Good day. I would like to extend to you a very warm welcome to the Port of Mucha. The purpose of this induction video is to explain general safety, health, environment and security requirements placed on all port users. This induction video will also raise awareness on specific SHAYI and security issues that all port users should observe. The health and safety of our port users and employees is a high priority for us. As the Port of Mucha, we are committed to providing a safe and a healthy working environment for our employees and port users. As such, safety and security is a way of life and a responsibility for all of us. Respecting the imposed security and safety, health and environment requirement is necessary for every port user. Our main interest is for all port users to visit and leave the port as safely as possible. Remember, safety first, last and always.
Good day. Welcome to Transnet National Ports Authority, Port of Mucha. Port of Mucha is a busy and thriving facility with many hazards and areas of high security. TNPA is responsible for the management, control, operation and development of the port. Your safety is of paramount importance to TNPA. We believe that all accidents and injuries are preventable. Upon entering the Port of Mucha, all employees and port users are required to produce a valid TNPA-issued access or permit card. In the absence of a valid access or permit card, you will be required to proceed to the registration office where a valid ID, driver's license or passport will be required for registration. Identity document copies, which are saved in cell phones, iPads or laptops, will not be accepted. Only original identity book or cards will be accepted, and no copies will be accepted, certified or not. All visitors, contractors and employees must have their personal protective equipment or PPE with them at all times. At a minimum, you are required to wear a high visibility vest and may also be required to wear a hard hat, safety glasses, safety gloves, safety shoes, ear muffs or plugs, depending on the area in which you will be performing your duties. When working on heights, always wear your safety harness and remember, you do not have to fall from a great height to sustain serious injuries. When working within 1.5 meters of the water's edge, always ensure that you are wearing a life jacket. While driving in the port, obey the speed limit of 40 kilometers per hour. Obey all road rules, adhere to road signage, and stop at stop signs throughout the port. Park your vehicle in reverse for ease of evacuation and reducing risk to other road users. You must be in possession of a valid driver's license when operating any vehicle in the port. Do not use any communication device when your vehicle is in motion and never leave an idling vehicle unattended. The Port of Mucha has zero tolerance towards substance and alcohol abuse. No person will be allowed to enter or work in the port if found to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. You may be subjected to an alcohol breathalyzer test at any given time. Smoking is only allowed in designated areas which are clearly marked and demarcated. Familiarize yourself with all emergency evacuation procedures, exit routes, and emergency assembly points for the area in which you will be working. When you hear a continuous sounding of the alarm, find the nearest emergency exit. Calmly evacuate in an orderly manner and remain at the assembly point until instructed otherwise. Please report all SHE and security-related occurrences, no matter how minor. This will in turn prevent further occurrences. In case of a medical emergency, fire, spills and leaks, call Port Control on 041 507 8444 or 5, stating your name, the nature of the emergency, and indicate if medical attention is required. No weapons, ammunition, explosives, or unauthorized hazardous chemicals are allowed in the port. All vehicles, goods, and persons may be subject to a random security search. After the induction, you will be issued with an access card, which must be with you at all times, and you must be able to produce it to security personnel when requested. Allowing someone else to use your access card or misuse is regarded as a serious security violation. This may result in your access card being revoked. Any misuse of the access card may lead to it being blocked with immediate effect, and the cardholder will be required to return the card. Familiarize yourself with the following symbolic safety signage in order to comply as directed. Warning signs. These have black writing or an image on yellow background. For example, be careful of a biological hazard. Mandatory signs. These have white writing or an image on a blue background. For example, it is mandatory to wear PPE. Prohibitory signs. These are black images on a white background. You are prohibited from doing something in that area. For example, a no smoking sign. Information or safety guidance signs. These are white images on a green background. For example, indicating a direction to follow during emergency evacuations. These safety signs and their color codes are applicable inside and outside a building. Remember, compliance prevents injuries and saves lives. If your duty involves hot works, diving, excavation, electrical work, or confined work entry, you are required to obtain a valid permit, which you must carry with you on site. Make sure to hand it in at the end of the day. This is to enable TNPA to monitor contractors on and off site. No removal of port assets without prior authorization from port security is allowed. Hazardous chemical substances should be handled with care and must be handled wearing the required PPE. To eliminate risk to exposure, never eat, drink, or smoke when using and handling hazardous chemicals. Do not smell or taste chemicals to identify them. Always use hazardous chemicals as intended and store them properly. Lockout, tagout. A lockout procedure is designed to prevent accidental startup of machines or equipment. Be sure to always notify affected employees of a lockout that is required. Shut machinery down by normal stopping procedure. Deactivate the energy isolation device. Lock out or tag out the energy isolating device. Equipment and tools. All equipment and tools must be checked before and after use, maintained and stored properly. Never operate or use equipment and tools which you have not been trained to work with, and always use them for the intended job. Do not make use of faulty or unsafe equipment and tools. Instead, report them to your supervisor. There are various departments in the port, such as infrastructure, marine operations, harbour master, fire emergency services, and corporate services. Risk assessments must be compiled per activity in all departments and communicated to the workforce. No risks are the same, so always take caution. Be aware of your surroundings and comply with your departmental SHE risk assessments, standard operating procedures, working instructions, and any other applicable policies or procedures. The port has a business continuity management system in place that helps the organization to recover from their critical activities after operational disruption, such as cable theft or fire. Regular simulations are conducted to test the integrity of the business continuity system. This is in order to safeguard the interests of its key stakeholders, reputation, brand, and value-creating activities. The Port of Ngqura is the only port with an environmental authorization and has an operational environmental management plan in place to ensure compliance to the authorization. Throwing of litter, plastics and bottles anywhere in the port is prohibited, except in the designated waste wheelie bins. Removing or digging of any plants is not allowed in the port unless written permission from the TNPA SHE department has been issued. Do not harm or kill any animals in the port. If you notice any injured animal in port, please report it to Port Control on 041 507 8444 or 5. Familiarize yourself with all applicable SHE legislation and the Transnet Integrated Management System Compliance Statement. TNPA Port of Ngqura would like to thank you for giving the induction your full attention. After signing all necessary documents, your name will be entered into the port's induction registration list and is valid for 12 months. Remember, safety first, last and always. Thank you.